Hi, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I thought it might be useful to share a few ideas using the brand new Sentimentally Yours Droplet and Heart Sprig corner die sets. They are just a few ideas. There'd be a lot more that, in fact, as I've been cutting them out, I've been thinking of more that we could possibly do with them. So just a few ideas. You will see some of these ideas cropping up on some other videos. But I thought it might be useful just to pop them all in a separate video, so you can just have a look at it whenever you want to. So we're not going to make anything. All we're going to do is kind of give you some ideas on how to use them. So I have them in front of me, and there are two of these Sprig corner sets as implied by the title. So this is the Droplet Sprig corner die set. They are A6 die sets, and both sets are similar in their layout, but their design is obviously different. There's 7 dies in each set, and you get a solid and an open die in 2 different sizes. So you can see it's a good idea to actually store them next to each other, so you know which are the solids and which are the opens. And then you've got 3 die set dies here which coordinate perfectly in size, and you can do some kind of different colours or just some accents with them if you like. So that's the droplet one, and then we've got the heart one. And as you can see from this, 7 dies again, and it's got a different, this one's got a trellis on it, and this has got just kind of a cutout to it. Again, you've got 2 sizes, and a solid and an open, and then you've got 3 hearts, and they do cut out as a solid in the centre and then a frame around it, but we can explore what we're going to be doing with those. So those are your 2 sets. I believe they're $19.99 each. So we're going to begin with, we're going to focus on the droplet one. So cut out, let's put pairs together. Here's your solid, and here's your open. In fact, let's work on a piece of black card so you can see a bit easier what we're doing. So we've got the open and we've got the solid. And there are 2 sizes, so here is your solid, and here is your open of the smaller size, so you can see the difference here. They will sit on each other, so you could see you could have a layered effect if you want to. You could do the layered effect in a slightly different way, so you could put your contrast colour on top if you wanted to do that. So obviously they are meant, if you want to use them so that the 2 of them sit with the open on top of the solid. Okay, but obviously you don't have to do that. There's a few different things that you can do. So you will get dropouts from these, and the dropouts are here. Here's the other one. Here's the other one. So obviously, because it's a dropout, it's going to be smaller than the outside line. So you can pop these on here directly if you want to, glue them in place, and then you have kind of a mat and a layer within your corner. So that's a different corner look. So obviously if you cut 4 corners, you can do that 4 times, and then you can have that 4 times as well. So you get like 2 sets of corners in 1 set of passes. So you can do that. If you use this one, so the fallout of this one, I've only got this colour unfortunately, but it's a different colour, so you can stack it on top. I'll try and lift it up for you to show you in a second. Obviously if it's a different colour then you'll be able to see. It's a little bit harder as I'm just placing it rather than sticking it, but I want to show you some different options. Let's try and pick that up without it moving. So now you've got like a stepped piece, so that's a bit more dimensional. So you can do that, or you can actually just use these little pieces here and actually have these Which one was a little one? That's a little one. So you've got a bigger border around the edge. Let's try and get these straight. So that's a bigger border than what we had before, okay? Like so. You can also take your contrast or your open one and pop it on top, and then you can take, see if I can keep this in place, then you can take this one from the smaller one and pop this down inside. So then you're going to get a little border between your droplets. Hopefully you can see this. It's a little bit fiddly because, like I say, I'm not sticking it. So that's cool, isn't it? So already, and I'm not really started showing you how to use them yet, already you've got lots and lots of different looks. So obviously you can take these smaller ones because these have come from this one, and you can do exactly the same thing as we did with the big ones. I'll pick them up. And you can pop those on here, and then you've got the same kind of small border as you did when you had the bigger ones on this one here. Hopefully that makes sense. Like so. So obviously if you're putting them directly on here, so say if you were gluing it directly onto a piece of pattern card, you could take the smaller ones and pop them inside here like that, and then you've just got that black border from, or whatever pattern paper or whatever it is from underneath, so you can use them like that. Lots and lots of different looks. It's worth cutting them out and just playing with them and just seeing what you can actually do with them, because once you start, keep all the bits, and once you start playing with them, they're absolutely fab. You've also got this little heart. I'll pick it up. Should be using my pokey pick up tool. This tiny little heart has come from this one. So this tiny little heart, if you pop it back in there, that's going to give you a little border as well. Cool, cool, cool. Right, so that's kind of some bits. Lots of bits. But obviously then you can start playing, building your patterns as well. So obviously we can just have something in the corner, so we can just do, I don't think I've got this, I haven't got a full set here, so perhaps this is our card, and this is going to be us doing a border, a set of corners. Oh, brain work. So you can have them as close or as not as you want to. I mean, we could have flowers in here if you only wanted to cut 3, but we can pretend for now that I've got 4 the same size, and this is going to go down in the corner like that. That looks a bit weird, doesn't it? But you know, that's what you can do. You can do yourself a nice frame if you like. But what you can also do is you can do yourself a pattern. So you can do yourself a focal point, and it's quite nice sometimes to actually alternate them between your finishes. So we could do, pop that like that, and we could have a solid one here. Obviously we're mixing our solids and our opens, but you could just have all solids or just all opens or pairs, and then you've got yourself a nice pattern there. So obviously you could have that on the skew as well, so that you could have that like that. And then if you wanted to, this isn't the right colour, but you could pop yourself a frame around it, and then you've got the makings of a card. Pop a sentiment around the edge if you wanted to, or even use one of the sentiment dies across the middle, whatever you want. But it's really cool to be pattern building. Also, you could take, I suppose, you could take them, looking at this frame, and you could have the corners just poking out of the frame, like so. So I've just thought of this, so this is just me thinking on the fly. So we just have one poking here, so we can line up the corners with the octagon. That's quite nice, isn't it? I like that. Have I got another one? I haven't got another one of these. But anyhow, so let's have a look, see what it would look like if we were doing it with a solid. This is a slightly different colour. This is his watercolour card. So there's our solids. So it looks nice either way, doesn't it? Let's pop another one up here so you can see the full effect of a pear. I like that. And then obviously you just snip off the extra little bit there and have your sentiment in the middle. And you could even have one of the new frame sentiment dies in the centre. So let's just grab one. So this would be one of our frames that we could pop in the middle. Obviously it's not cut out, so apologies for that. And we could have one of the layers in here. And we could have happy birthday. So, and that would be an absolutely fab card, wouldn't it? I know it's on the skewer. Let's see if I can straighten it up a little bit so you get some sort of idea. So pretend all the corners are the same and pretend the die cuts are all cut out, and we've chopped off these here. Cool. Right. Okay. So there's a couple of ideas for you. Let's pop these away. But I do have some more, of course. Put to one side. I did intend to show you that with the other corners, but going off at a tangent, as you do. You can go into your dies and snip them away, so you change the look of your corner. So just taking your scissors very slowly, looking where you're going, try and get them nice and neat. And then I tend to turn mine over and go this way. It's almost like I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to cut it up. I'm going to. So that makes that excuse me, that makes that nice and free. And then we're just going to curl that around the corner there. So cut that away. So now we've got this shaped corner instead. And you can actually, if you wanted to, you can actually round these off. They're not as neat as they would have been if they were cut by a die, obviously. That's where dies are fab. So you can cut yourself as an embellishment, and I've also got one that I hacked at for a video that I recorded. So from the other one, so we can actually pop that on there if you wanted to, and then that could be an embellishment as well that you can tuck behind some flowers as a leaf if you want to. And don't forget, you can, with the new stamps that we've got, and the new background stamps, you can actually stamp on that as well and give that a different look. So I've got a few of these, so we can actually start playing with these. So you can make yourself a border. So we can pop this on here like so, so it can sit in, and you can start making yourself a V-neck border. So I'll cut these up and I'll show you a bit more in a moment. Okay, so I've actually decided not to cut them all up because there's something else I want to show you as well before I cut them up. So this is the sort of thing that you can create. You can create yourself like a chevron background as well, or an embellishment. So if you wanted to cut it down, so you could glue this all down, and then you can trim it if you want to, or you could actually put yourself sort of a DL frame around it, which would be quite nice. Obviously also you can then also use them as corners as they are, so you could create yourself, I mean obviously these are all the same, so you haven't got an innie and an outie of these, so you could create yourself a frame. Obviously this is opposites, but I do quite like this actually, so that's going to make you a frame. You can also take them and pop them and create a pattern this way. So you can have them going like that, and then perhaps Let's see, let's have it, this one. So you have another one going up like that, and another one going down like that. Oh, stay. Let's just do that again. I'm sure you're getting the idea. Once you start playing, you don't have to worry about too much about them being neat. If you could use double-sided adhesive sheet when you're doing this, but be careful, it does go down and does stay permanently. And then obviously in any gaps you can fill with glitter. So hopefully you get an idea there that you've got a stepped obvious background there. So again, you could trim that down or do a full DL piece. But what I also wanted to show you was that on the die set, on both of them, you've got this trio of extra dies here. So I've got those all cut out as well. In fact, I've got this on different colour cards. So let's grab some craft card for now. So I've got them cut out in black and in, I think this is Summer Citrine. I wanted something that was different to the colours we had before. So they're all cut out with an innie and an outie. Okay, so you can take the larger one if you want to, and then just pop the innie around it. Oh, pick it up. There we go. So you see they're going to fit perfectly. So you could actually create yourself some patterns with this. So you could create yourself your own flower. Put this one down first. So these are the two largest ones. I'm making it harder than it needs to be. Those are the two largest ones. So you can see you could do yourself a flower embellishment that you stick down. But the interesting thing is that when you bring them into work with these, they're really cool. So let's take this one. So we could put a yellow border on it, and then we could put, because they fit perfectly, and then we could put that inside like that. Let's put this on this card because this is a different colour. So that way, if you fill them in like this, then you keep the cream colour that you've got around the trellis, but you've changed the embellishment piece. Is that the right one? Oh, this one's going to be smaller. So you need to cut two of the medium size one because this one's smaller, but then that's going to give you a different look completely anyway. See that? So that's really cool. That's a really cool way of using them, and obviously you can mix and match. You can also obviously take this one and then pop these inside here. Obviously, like I say, I haven't got two medium ones. I didn't think that through. But you can see where we're going. So if you don't want to cut a new corner out completely, you can pop these in. It's making such a meal of this. That one's not fitting exactly on there. That's weird. Okay, so that one's not fitting. Maybe it's the medium one. Maybe it isn't. That one fits perfectly. The medium one doesn't. But obviously you've got your innies and your outies anyway of your corners. So it's just an idea of what you could do with those anyway. And obviously you can pop them on here like that as well. So there's the three little tiny kind of teardrop dies that you get with that set. So that's a few ideas with your Droplet die set, this one. So let's have a look at the other set now. We'll have a look at the heart sprig corners. You can do exactly the same things as I've just done with this one. So I've actually got some stuck together here. Where's the one? I'm sure I've got one that isn't. I have. I have. This one's not stuck together. So you've got your solid and your open, and then you've got your other size as well, which is your solid and your open as well. And then they look fabulous when you stick them together. So this is a different edge to the other one. The other one's a trellis, and this is just like a slotted line. I don't know how to describe it, but they look really pretty when you stick them together. They also look fab if you, and there is another video coming with this, if you use pattern paper for your backer, and then you can pop either the white or the black on top. It's pretty, really pretty. This is from the Delightfully Daisy paper pack. So as before, we can do different things with them. These are the fallouts from the large one. So we can just pop that on there. I ought to be using why aren't I using this? Make life a lot easier. There we go. Flat paper piecing. There's your contrast. So then you keep the black lines, rather than you've got totally different look to this one. Same two die cuts, but that's a fallout rather than the actual die itself. But you've got a totally different look to it. And again, you can do exactly the same thing with the smaller one. The fallouts from the white one. You could even slot in the fallouts from there if you really wanted to. And you've got little tiny hearts that come out of here, but you know, they are really, really tiny, so you might not want to do that. Again, if you wanted to, you can actually cut down these, and so you're just left with that corner, just like we did before with the trellis. To get these corners, you can cut away the hearts and get straight corners for those as well. You can obviously do yourself some layering up. We could take, here's the one that's, there it is. You could layer one of these on top of the other to make a staggered heart piece. It's hard to see because it's black. There we go. That way's better, isn't it? There we go. Or you could take the smaller one in the white. I'm not so keen on that. Not too keen on that. But you could cut the black one or the solid one out of white and then drop it down if you wanted to. In fact, you could just take, you could do that so that you actually drop it down like that. That's a bit different as well. So, okay, going off at a tangent, as you do. You've also got the heart dies. Let's take those out of the way. These are the 3 heart dies that you get. Yeah. So we've got a solid and a open of each size. And they make nice embellishments as well, so you can just offset them slightly on your piece. You can do two of the same colour together if you wanted to. Put the solid one on top. They do make really nice embellishments. And obviously, when you cut them, you get an innie and an outie on each one. So you actually get 6 die cuts. If you cut all 3, you get 6 die cuts. They are really pretty embellishments. And then, of course, you can take some of these. Where are we? This size. So we could take this one and pop that on top of there. And I think it's a smaller one. This one might not be the right size actually. No, it isn't. It's too big. But you can definitely use the middle one in the centre there if you want to. It's good that they're different sizes because it does mean that when you've got the fallout, you've got another size heart to play with. And yeah, it's really cool. Right, must stop saying that. Right, let's just do a little bit of pattern building with this to give you a few ideas of this, because like I say, you can do exactly the same thing as we did with the droplet one with these. So obviously I've got 4 of these stuck together, so we're going to do that thing where we do ourselves a piece in the middle. Sometimes it's hard to visualise when they're different ones. And obviously these are all the same colour, whereas before I was playing with an innie and an outie. Different colours, all separate. These are all stuck together. So we've got that nice piece there. So take a frame, pop a frame around it. That works. You can also take your largest of your hearts, put that in the centre. Pop that in the centre, like so. It's really pretty, isn't it? Obviously you'd stick it down so it was completely straight. You can also take, like I was playing around with the octagon as well, so you could actually put an octagon frame on top of your double deboss square frame, and I think that's really nice as well. And if you wanted to, you could really go OTT with the corners, so you could actually bring in, say, the smaller one and put a smaller one on the edge here, and actually do 4 of those around. I think that would be quite nice. Obviously you could use the pattern paper in the background, or you can emboss your background with an embossing folder. I think that's really cool. We can also, I'm doing that cool thing again. How many times have I said that? We've also got a set which I will do a separate video on. We've also got 2 embellishment sets. We've got the heart sprigs, and we've also got the droplet sprigs as well. Now these are going to be great for tucking behind flowers as well, but I've got lots of ideas in my head as to what we can do with those. But take it again, we've got innies and outies of these, except for these 2 which are quite small, so there's no space for an innie and outie of those. But we've got innie and outie of that, and innie and outie of that, as in solid and an open. So we could take one of these, so exactly the same format as before, and pop those on there, and you could, let's actually just rotate it slightly. Let's have it so it's that way. Let's just take this away just for a minute, and let's pop this frame on it this way. Like so. Move it up a bit. Changes it completely when it's like that. And we could run these around the corners like that. It's moved slightly, so you have to have your imagination going a bit here. So we could extend the design out with those there. I don't know, I think I've got another one. Or we could use this one, which is another of the sprigs. So we could have that coming out instead. And then bring in our heart again to kind of hide that centre bit. So, I mean, I think that's all I wanted to show you for now. Is it? Did I do some more of those? Some more hearts? No, I didn't. I showed you the hearts. I think I've showed you everything. I've got lots of ideas in my head as to what we can do, especially with these heart dies. So I'll come back with another video at some point with these heart dies, and or it might be a live video. Who knows? Who knows? So I hope you find that useful. You will find the new dies on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and if I've sold out, then you can also find them on Honeypot Crafts, which is Phil's website. And like I say, hope you found it useful. Hope it's got those ideas going in your head. And do check out my other videos, and like and subscribe onto my YouTube channel. I love to see your comments on there. And I need to say thank you for watching.